bring this a little bit further back. So, if you do have a pillow, we will be starting with a pillow on our back. Pillow going underneath the legs rather than underneath the head. If you don't have a pillow though, you can do this exact posture or Shavasana without the pillow. If for any reason lying down is also not in your practice today, feel free to prop yourself up. Either one, I always think a great choice is the bed, or in a chair, or anywhere else that feels supported. Maybe one hand comes to the belly and one hand to the chest. And maybe you begin to allow the eyes to soften. As for a moment, you just check in with your environment. What is the room that you're in? Maybe taking note of the time of the day. Maybe the eyes stay open or closed. And maybe you notice that the mind is already beginning to wander. Trusting that the mind will wander, distractions will arise, and despite that, you can be unattached, unaffected, and embodied within the moment. So in your time, beginning to send your breath into the belly with the inhale, and out through the nose with the exhale. Inhaling into the belly. Soft exhale through the nose. So this breath is often referred to as a diaphragmatic breath, in that we're beginning to mindfully synchronize the movement of the breath with the movement of the somatic body. And through this synchronization, we begin to speak the language of the nervous system and of the self. Receiving both information about what is arising within the body, within the mind, within this moment, as much as we're offering information back to the body about all that it can receive, all that it could cultivate, and all that it could explore. Imagine that with each inhale, the breath flows down into the hips. And with each exhale, the breath flows up and out through the nose. So inhale, downward, moving, receiving breath. Exhale, upward, moving, releasing breath. In yoga, we say that the breath is the vehicle of prana or energy. So maybe you begin to sense into the energetic signature of your breath and ask yourself, when does the air around you become breath, become you? And then when do you become the breath, and then back to the air around you? Exploring where vitality and life enters the body, and how you can begin to tap into that radiant vitality as you prepare for practice and embodiment. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Inhale down the nervous system, down the spinal cord. Exhaling back up and out through the nose. Inhaling along the chakra line, which resides along the spinal column. Exhaling back along the chakra line and back out. Each inhale glows purple, blue, green, orange, yellow, red. Each exhale, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Let these colors light up along the movement and flow of the breath as you begin to sense into anything you might need from your practice today and set your sankalpa or your intention for the afternoon. As your intention begins to flow along the length of the chakras, allow the breath now to enter from the third eye down to the hips, and from the hips out through the third eye, receiving more clarity into intentional space and presence. Maybe your breath begins to shift into a belly inhale and a soft ujjayi exhale, squeezing the belly, gentle tone of the back of the throat, audible, ocean-like sound through the nose. Building the psychic awareness and purifying energy. And as we begin to prepare to seal that intention, now the breath entering through the crown, down to the hips, from the hips, out through the crown, clear flow, clear pathway, clear journey within. Taking just one more inhale. Soft exhale. Releasing the hands by the side, taking your intention with you, begin to bend the knees, option to plant the feet gently on your pillow or on the floor, your choice. Lifting the feet may change the relationship to the posture as you begin to sway the knee side to side. And notice what has changed if your feet are on the pillow. Now you're in a slightly subtle inversion. Tuck the chin slightly towards the chest, let the back of the neck elongate. Bring the arms wide to a T. And the next time the legs are on the left side, let them pause on the left. The feet can be stacked or staggered. Maybe the knees are also stacked or floating away from each other. As much as you can, softening the shoulders, softening the hips, sending the breath still into the belly. Option to bring the gaze over the right shoulder, releasing through the right ear, through the neck, inhale, bring the gaze through center and the knees through center. Exhale, knees to the right, gaze to the left. Releasing through the left, or rather the right ear and the scalp. Inhaling the gaze and the knees through center. Planting the feet about hip distance apart. Grab the outer edges of your mat. And then gently, as if you're going to stretch your mat across the room, gentle pull. And then if you're like me and someone says, engage, I'm like 1000% energy activate. So maybe you take it down to, 1%, maybe 5% activation. Press the shoulder heads down into the floor. Maybe draw the shoulder blades behind you. Tuck the chin towards the chest and press the low back down into the floor. So the core is engaged here. Spine is connected. Tailbone is slightly curled towards the ceiling. Option to stay here because there's plenty going on. You're releasing the butt and broadening and widening the sit bones. Exhale, option to lift the hips any amount. Use the gentle pull of the hands, the broadening of the shoulders, and the slight tuck of the chin to stay light in the upper body. Doesn't have to be the most tall bridge pose, right? It could be gentle. Think about the tailbone curling towards the ceiling. Core stays engaged rather than low back releasing. Taking one more breath here. And with your exhale, you're going to roll the spine down to the floor. Bring the right ankle to the right knee, or left knee, right ankle to left knee for figure 4 on your back. Open the arms wide once again. Press into the left grounded foot, shift the hips over to the right, and you're going to draw your figure 4 legs to the left. So that's a lot of coordination for this time of the day. So right foot is going to come down towards the left. Your figure 4 may want to come and fold towards the floor, towards the belly, but can you lift the knee energetically towards the ceiling using the anchor between ankle and knee? And so this is going to offer a stretch through the outer right glute medius and the piriformis. Notice if there's any clenching in that same area, and can you soften through the hips, soften through the jaw? Think about sending the breath into the back ribs and allowing some of the tension in the back body to lengthen. Taking just 2 more breaths here. Softening the shoulders. So, think about pressing ankle and left thigh together, and you're going to use that connection to guide your figure 4 legs through center. Now you're going to shift the hips through center and over to the left side, just an inch, and you're going to bring your figure 4 legs towards the right side. So in this version, I'll show you, we started off here with the right knee up towards the sky. Now the right thigh is down to the floor, and maybe you keep the right foot or left foot grounded. You can also come to the inner edge of that left foot. Again, same thing. Notice where the body wants to clench and hold. And can you soften into the posture? If the answer is no, maybe you're supporting the legs, the shoulders, or the hips just a little bit more. Inhale. Press the ankle and knee against each other. Guide your figure 4 legs through center, hips through center. Option to stay there or to bring your figure 4 legs towards the chest. It's still pretty early in the practice, so you might notice, dang, my hips are relatively cold still. Option to bring the hands around the hamstring, left hamstring, or front left shin. Take a soft breath in. If this feels really intense, feel free to bring that left foot right back down to the floor. We're just taking 3 more breaths here. Softening the shoulders and tucking the chin gently towards the chest. And then as you're ready, gently release. Release the right leg, sway the knees. Between sides, we're going to come back to that bridge pose. So planting the feet either on the floor or on your bolster. Hands to the outer edges of your mat. Gentle pull, broad chest. Tuck the chin. Ground the spine. So there's a lot going on, right? Always a lot going on in yoga, turns out. And then when you're ready, you lift the hips. If the weight shifts back towards the head, first, press into the heels, broaden the chest and shoulders a little bit more, and really anchor through the hands rather than into the shoulders. Press the low back slightly towards the floor so that the tailbone lifts, taking the back bend out of your bridge pose. This is a core strengthening bridge pose. Taking one more breath, broaden the sit bones rather than squeezing the butt. And then with your exhale, you're going to roll all the way down. Release your mat Open the arms wide. This time, left ankle to the right knee for your figure 4. And you might notice initially like, dang, this side is super different. So just take a moment, orientate yourself in this figure 4. Maybe for a moment, visualize the twist that we're about to do. And then as you're ready, ground into the right foot, shift the hips over to the left, and twist your figure 4 to the right. So the left foot comes down to the right side of your mat. Left knee is lifting towards the ceiling. Again, this might be a very different experience for this hip. Maybe there's some tightness along that left outer hip, glute medius. Breathe those exhales steadily into those hips. Notice what else arises. There might be extra thoughts, extra emotions, especially since we're working on the hips. Let them arise, but receive them with curiosity, with openness, compassion. Begin to press left ankle against right thigh. As you inhale, guide your figure 4 legs through center. Hips through center over to the right. As you guide your figure 4 legs and the left thigh bone down to the earth. Send the breath into the back ribs, back body. Where is there opportunity to bring more lightness, more compassion? Inhale, ankle to knee. Guide your figure 4 legs through center and the hips through center. Release and sway the knee side to side. One last time here, we're going to find a bridge pose. Grabbing the outer edges of the mat as an option, although maybe this time you'd like to plant the hands wide or prepare to interlace the fingers behind you. I'm always a huge proponent of this mat stretch variation. Curl the tailbone towards the sky, ground the spine, and press into the heels. Lift the hips any amount. As the hips lift, gently pulling that mat, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you, tucking the chin. For this last round of our bridge pose, feel free to take any version of that bridge pose. It could be less intense, more intense. Lean into the version that you need and trust the version that you need. Taking just one more inhale, soften the jaw, soften the butt. And then exhale, slowly round the spine down. Sway the knees, release the hands. And then when you're ready, you're going to guide the knees towards the armpits. So slightly wider than knees to the chest. Knees will open towards the armpits. This is more your natural hip alignment, hip to leg alignment. Option to stay here, press the sacrum into the floor, tuck the chin, or happy baby, reach the hands in between the knees for the opposite feet, ankles, or hamstring. Again, it's pretty early still in the practice, so it might not be a deep happy baby, right? You might notice cold areas of the body. Tuck the chin towards the chest, plug the shoulders as much as you can. One more inhale. With your exhale, walking the hands down the legs, guiding the knees back towards the armpits. Take a belly breath here. Soft exhale out. And then as you're ready, you're going to roll towards the right side. Use your left hand to press yourself up. Send the legs behind you, and we're going to make our way towards child's pose. So if you do have a pillow, maybe you're finding a supported child's pose, you bring the knees wide, pillow or bolster to the center of those legs, and then you rest on said pillow. If there's no pillow, that's totally perfect. Maybe you're finding traditional child's pose. Wherever you are, come back to this idea of the belly breath and synchronizing the movement of the downward moving inhale and the upward releasing exhale. Notice your intention. And notice your energy. Taking one more breath. And exhale. From here, you're going to slowly bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press yourself to an upright seat. Couple options for this upright seat. One, maybe Virasana if your knees are feeling okay. If this is really intense, you can bring a block underneath the sit bones. You can sit up on your pillow. If you'd like Vajrasana Thunderbolt pose with the stretch of the feet, which might be a nice variation, although an intense variation, maybe you're here. If neither of these work, easy pose, right cross-legged. So, finding your seat. We're going to start bringing the hands, palms facing up towards the sky. And then the mudra that I like to use for upper body and scalp tension or head pressure also is to bring the thumb, pointer, ring finger to touch. Middle finger to touch, and the ring finger goes in the center. So first three digits come to touch, ring finger goes down to the palm, and the pinkies remain floating. And so finding your seat, knowing that at any time you can come out of said seat, supporting yourself as you need. We're going to do a little bit of pranayama or breath work with the mudra. Thinking about here a three-part breath. So here for this version, we're going to inhale through the chest, ribs, and belly, that downward moving. Exhaling through the belly, ribs, and chest. Inhale, chest, ribs, belly. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Continuing at your own pace. Three-part breath, Dirga Pranayama. Awakening the energy and the pathway along the spine and chakra line. Maybe here your breath flows in and out through the nose. Maybe through the third eye for clarity. Maybe through the crown. All flows and all versions are equally as valid, exploring where the breath flows for you. Again, as other thoughts arise, allow them to. Maybe they're even giving you information about where you are and what you need. Inhaling through the chest, ribs, belly. Exhaling through the belly, ribs, chest. Taking 3 more rounds here. And as you're ready, releasing the hands. If you're not already in easy pose, you're going to switch to easy pose. If you're in easy pose, bring the opposite leg in front. Bringing the hand to the heart center, broad chest, long neck. Notice where on the sit bones you naturally sit, and begin to explore the center of those sit bones, nice, tall, and stacked. Full inhale, bring the arms widen up to the sky, squeezing the shoulder blades together and down. Exhale, bring the hand to the center. So just reminding the body of the shape of relaxation. Inhaling, reach the arms wide into the sky. Soften the shoulders. When the upper traps release, it gives the nervous system information to release also, and bring the hands to the center. One more time. Inhale, bring the arms wide and open towards the sky. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. Maybe this time you look up. Light back bend at the top, chest lifts, gaze lifts. If that feels really intense for your practice today, keeping the gaze level or even grounded on the earth. Soften the shoulders, take one more breath. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. Bringing the right hand on the bottom, left hand on top. Ganesha Mudra, interlock the knuckles and have a gentle pull. Soften the shoulders against that energetic pull. And for a moment, come back to your breath. Ganesha Mudra being the remover of obstacles, but the protector of the threshold being your body, giving you agency, clarity, and power into your own well-being. Deep inhale, with your exhale, upright twist towards the right. If that tension in the mudra becomes a lot, take the activation down to about 1%, maybe even 0.01%. Notice if the left hip wants to squeeze with you, can you soften the glutes? Inhale, come through center. Exhale, upright twist towards the left side. Softening the shoulders and that right hip. Lengthening through the crown and lifting out of the hips. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, gently release. Bring the arms wide as if you're holding two cats. So they're kind of heavy, right? Like two cats out all the way over here. You got to bend those elbows. You got to press up. You got to engage those arm muscles so you're holding. But softening the shoulders, still breathing, softening the hips, just strong hands, strong arms. Take one more inhale here. And with your exhale, pressing those two cats up towards the ceiling. Hopefully they're like 2-pound cats, right? Soften the shoulders at the top. They float away. You're grateful. And exhale, bring the hands to the center. Take a moment to reconnect to your breath. What has changed? Maybe not much, maybe a lot. Take a soft breath in and soft exhale. This time, left hand on the bottom, right hand on top. Interlock the knuckles, same Ganesha Mudra, gentle pull. Soften the shoulders. This time, take a full breath in for length, and with your exhale, side bend to the right. Right elbow dips, left elbow lifts. Lean the top left shoulder back. Tuck the chin slightly towards the chest. And maybe think about if you're going into a slight back bend here, you're going to press the back ribs gently towards the back wall. It's going to feel like you're slightly rounding through the spine, but that Uddiyana or mid-core lock engages. Inhale, come through center, soften the shoulders through center. Maybe switch up the percentage of activation. Side bend to the left. Left elbow dips, right elbow to the sky, softening those shoulders, lifting through the right side body. Tucking the chin slightly towards the chest, pressing the low back also slightly towards the space behind you. Inhale, slowly come through center. Release the hands. Bring the arms wide. Dang, those two cats showed up again, so you gotta hold them up. Soft bend in the elbows, lifting through strong arms, strong palms. And yet the shoulder blades are soft. Neck is long, breath is steady. Hips release. Take one more breath. Exhale, pressing those two cats high to the sky. They float away again and you're relieved. Exhale, bring the hands back through the heart center. Full breath in of gratitude. Exhale. Gently releasing the hands, coming off of your seat and meeting in tabletop. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and tucking the toes. Pressing through strong shoulders Inhale, draw the belly low, squeeze the shoulders. Maybe keep the gaze like eye level. Exhale, round the spine. If it feels okay for the head and neck, maybe release the head and neck. If that feels really intense, the gaze can stay a couple inches past the fingers. Inhale, draw the belly low, squeeze the shoulders, lift the gaze eye level. Exhale, rounding the spine, releasing to your capacity. One more time. Inhale, draw the belly low, squeeze the shoulders, lengthen. Exhale to round. Inhale through to long spine. You're going to sit the hips back. Rotate the triceps towards the floor, and yet slightly press the triceps wide while keeping the elbows to the center. So again, always a million things happening at once. So you're keeping that, plug the shoulders back, lift the knees, and then use the press of the thigh bones back rather than stressing the knees to straighten towards downward dog. Maybe this means the knees stay slightly bent. Maybe you're bending the knees a little bit more to take some of that weight out of the shoulders, especially if the shoulders feel kind of rounded. Let the knees bend, press the front ribs towards the spine. Deep inhale, roll the shoulders forward, begin to find your plank pose. Lower to the knees and pause. So, in this modified plank posture, knees to the earth, body in an incline, strong press of the shoulders. Notice if there's a slight dip in the low back. And then you're drawing the tailbone towards the floor. It's going to feel like you're rounding towards a cat pose, but you're not because you're not releasing the head, right? You're staying long in the chest, just slightly engaged in the hips. Shift forward, exhale, lower all the way down to the belly, elbow squeeze the ribs. So a variation of our locust pose, you're going to stack the hands underneath the forehead. And the hands are going to support the forehead. So this is sort of like a crocodile pose. Forehead stacks over the hands. Think about hands and forehead will not move away from each other, but the elbows are stretching towards the opposite sides of the room. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down, and then exhale, lift the upper body. Doesn't have to be super high. Again, the forehead is being supported by the hands, but you're not pushing the head up with the hands. Elbows wide, shoulders low, strong feet, steady breath. One more inhale. Exhale to lower. Bend the knees, feet lifting towards the sky, and then windshield wiper the legs side to side. Awesome. And then releasing. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. Roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Bhujangasana, lift the upper body. Couple different things here. You're pressing through the hands so that you can engage through the back for the lift. It might, again, feel like you're rounding. You regain that length through the strong hands, through the front ribs, sliding through those thumbs. Tops of the feet ground. Maybe you're not coming up that high. That's totally cool. Maybe you're coming low. Taking one more breath. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, squeeze the shoulders. Inhale, hips to the heel. Exhale to the sky, downward dog. Bend the knees deeply so that you can really press away from those shoulders, away from the neck. Come up onto the tippy toes, bend even more. And then really press through those palms as if the forehead is going to touch those knees. Maybe you even look towards those knees. One more inhale here. You're going to look towards the hands. Walk the hands towards the back of the mat. Forward fold at the back. Inhale, find half lift. Draw the shoulders back in space. Bend the knees. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Bend the knees, exhale, forward fold. So you're going to press through strong heels, strong top thighs or quadriceps. Brush the floor with the fingertips, rise through a chair pose. So you're going to scoop up. Maybe you scoop up those two heavy cats and you press through strong thighs, come to tall mountain pose. Gentle back bend at the top. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. And for a moment, reconnecting to your breath and to your intention, noticing just how different it is to stand on 2 feet versus in tabletop or on the back. Take a deep breath in, and with your exhale, you're going to bend the knees, find your chair pose. Broad sit bones. Chair pose is really vague, so you can decide what that looks like. Doesn't have to be super deeply bent, maybe you're a little bit taller. Weight is in those feet or heels. Can you wiggle those toes? Maybe. One more breath. And with your exhale, forward fold over the legs. Bend the knees, you're going to walk the hands out, find plank pose. Knees can always come to the floor, but you're pressing the thighs high, pressing the floor away to gain space in those shoulders. One more breath, bend the knees, lift the hips, downward dog. Bend into the left knee, reach the right leg high to the sky. Again, high to the sky is up to you, whatever that means for you today. Exhale, bend that right knee, guide the right knee towards the nose, round the spine, and plant the foot at the top. Take as many steps as you need. Maybe you're manually guiding that foot up there. Beautiful. So from here, you're going to lower the back knee down. The back knee is going to kickstand towards the center of your mat. So left leg is going to kickstand towards the right side of your mat. And you're going to cartwheel the arms open, grounded warrior 2. Yes, exactly. So you're going to be, yes. So make sure you can see your front toes past your knee. Maybe you inch the front toes a little bit taller, just like standing warrior. This can be a little bit longer of a stance. Take a deep breath in, flip the front palm, lean forward, and you're going to lift. Right arm to the sky, left hand to the thigh. Lift through the right side body. Maybe as if you're holding up one cat and you're very proud. So proud. Soften that right shoulder though. One more breath. You're going to lean forward, reach forward. Lower the right hand inside of the right foot, left arm to the sky. It can be nice to follow that right hand down to the earth or to follow the left thumb up towards the sky. Option to keep the left arm high, or for half bind, reach the arm around for the sacrum or for the right hip. Exactly. Beautiful. Broaden the chest. Rotate through the ribs and use the tension between right arm and right leg. One more inhale and exhale. Releasing the left arm tall. Exhale, plant both hands, frame the front foot, straighten the front leg. Option to keep the back shin kickstanded across. If it feels better to keep the shin aligned with the knee, that's perfect. Think about reaching back through the sit bones, lengthening through the spine. Whether the front knee is bent, less important. We'll take one more breath. So from here, right into pigeon pose, rebend that right knee, right foot, heel, toes across, lower the shin. If pigeon pose is not your jam, hips level to the floor, then you can also come down to that right hip and thigh, inner left leg grounds against the floor, right knee bends, deer posture instead. So whether you're in pigeon pose or deer posture, here is a gentle or intense hip stretch. You're thinking about the flow of your breath. Take a full inhale. Last exhale here. And then from here, walking the hands towards the shins, lifting the chest tall, plug the shoulders back, tuck the toes, step it back, downward dog. Left leg lifts high to the sky. Softly plant the left foot in between the hands. As many steps as you need. Again, maybe, boom, 1,000,000 steps, I'm down. And then lower the right knee. Straighten the front leg. Lengthening the chest, broad sit bones. Just a short splits here, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, you rebend the knee, kickstand the right leg across as you cartwheel the arms open, warrior two. But I'll switch my orientation so that I'm forward facing. You're gazing over the left knee. Make sure you can see the toes past that knee. Soften the shoulders, flip the left hand, reach forward. Left hand to the sky, right hand to the thigh. Maybe lifting all the way through those left fingertips, not through the low back. Soft inhale here. And exhale, soften the top shoulder. One more breath. With your exhale, you lean forward, reach forward. Lower the left hand down, right arm to the sky. Option for half bind. Top right arm reaches for the sacrum or for the hip. Broad chest, long neck. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Releasing. Left arm to the sky, or right arm to the sky. Plant the palms, frame the foot, back shin grounds, and since we did the half splits first, heel toeing across the mat for your pigeon pose or deer posture on this side. Might be a totally new experience, right? So take it at its own pace. Beginning to lower down to your version of your pigeon pose. Maybe that means hips level to the earth. Or deer posture, left hip to the floor, inner right leg to the floor. Take a full breath in through the nose and exhale. Slowly walking the hands towards the shins. You're going to come down to that left hip, bring the right leg all the way to the top, and sway the knees. So we went from here. Yep, exactly. Boom. Yes. And then we're going to finish our practice today with a lateral neck release. Just because for here, here on the East Coast, we're getting more storms. So, taking the right thumb in the left hand, and you're going to wiggle the right thumb. And then reversing directions. And then after that, go ahead and release the right hand, left hand to the right ear, and you're going to massage the right ear lobe and the outer ear. And then maybe also gently pulling the ear away from the head. And then as you're ready, coming back to the right thumb, wiggle it, rotate it in any direction. And reversing. And then switching sides, left thumb rotates. And in the opposite direction. Right hand to the left earlobe, gentle massaging on the ear and along the outer ear. And gentle pull of the ear away from the scalp and the head. And then as you're ready, one more time, rotating that left thumb. And then reversing directions. And then bringing the hands to the heart center. For a moment, reconnecting to your intention, reconnecting to the flow of the breath along the spine, along the chakras. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the third eye, exhaling through the third eye. Inhaling through the crown, exhaling through the crown. And we'll close our practice with a final round of breath, followed by an optional round of Om, vocalization being shown in research to offer great relief for tension, pain, fatigue, and also mood disturbances. So take a deep breath in for an optional Om. Bowing the chin. Bringing the thumbs towards the third eye. Sending gratitude and clarity within. Trusting all that you are within your inner resource and inner strength. Thank you so much for taking your time to trust into this space and explore your practice. The light within me honors and recognizes the light within you. Thank you so much. Namaste.